All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to all Akim and a few Aquath who may be listening. This is your brother Batakallah from the GMS camp here in Chicago, coming back at you with another lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai. All right, Lord willing, we're going to watch this video, and periodically we'll pause throughout the video to grab precepts. All right, Lord will. But Lord willing, this will be an edifying lesson, so we can get straight into it.
I think that probably the difference between my critique and maybe the critique of others who criticize the West is that I don't really differentiate between colonization and imperialism and racism.
Slacking when he says the West, he's talking about Esau. All right, I believe this guy's I believe he's a Muslim. I don't know if he thinks he's an Ishmaelite or whatever. I through the spirit, I believe he might be a Jake, but when he says the West, he's talking about Esau. All right.
And white supremacy, feudalism, neo-capitalism, and so on. I don't differentiate these things from each other, and I don't differentiate these things from the culture and the character of the West itself. All of these things are manifestations of Western character. That's what drives these policies and these practices and these ideas. They're all just versions of each other. For instance, the same colonizer mentality is actually applied across every arena in the West. The mentality of exploitation of others' resources and the dehumanization and subjugation of those whose resources they are, while feeling completely entitled. You see this across every sector in the West. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about minerals or precious metals or gems or crops or what have you, or if you're talking about labor, or if you're talking about talent and creativity. These are all natural resources. And it doesn't matter if you're talking about these resources being in another country or being in your own country. The point is, they're not your resources. And you exploit and pillage and profit from them. And you marginalize and subordinate the actual owners of the resources. So, I mean, look at America. Whatever unique cultural contribution that's come from America, it's come from the poor, from the underclass, from African Americans, from poor whites, from immigrants, and so on.
All right. The vast majority of these people are Jakes, if not all, as far as when we're talking about innovations and inventions and things like that. We're going to grab a quick precept real quick. This is Jeremiah chapter 10 and verse 6. The portion of Jacob is not like them, for he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh of hosts is his name. All right. So Jake, pretty much creates everything and is, the force that keeps the proverbial ball moving, in this earth, man. All right. All of these modern day amenities and conveniences that we have, Jake invented all of it. Esau, take the invention and then claim some Edomite did it. But if you really look into the history of all these things, Salakia, Jake invented all of them, man. All right. And it's been going on like that for a while. All right. Like the scriptures say, because he mentioned culture and things like that as well. Fashion, talent, music. Jake is the salt of the earth, like the scriptures say. And, we give flavor to this whole place, man. All right. But, right now, because we're in this captivity here in America underneath these Edomites, you know, it's not for us to be able to profit off of these gifts that the Lord blesses us with here. Now, that's not to say that the Lord won't throw certain individuals a bone. And there's certain people who, you know, don't have to sell out or anything like that. And the Lord might bless them, but that's few and far between, man. All right. For the most part, any of these jakes, they got to sell out in order to take advantage of their talents and things like that. And even then, you still don't really get anything. You just get an opportunity to stunt and flex on your own people. All right.
From gospel music to blues music to R&B to jazz, rap, and hip hop, and so on. And then on the other side of the coin, bluegrass, country music, rockabilly, rock and roll, and so on. All of these things came from the poor, from the working class. And from John Steinbeck to James Baldwin, your best writers all emerged from poverty and deprivation.
And that's the state that Israel would be in. We're here in captivity. Lord willing, we're going to get to Deuteronomy 28 and 68 in a moment. But we're here in captivity, man. So for the by and large, Jake is fucked up all over the earth. Okay, and even these Jakes that sell out, really they're in a worse case than you Jakes that are haven't sold out or on a low level or living in living in poverty, financially speaking. You're a lot better off than one of these niggas that sell out and live a lavish lifestyle to turn their back on the Lord and do all type of vile things willingly. Okay, but Salaki, let me see what the next precept is. Con. It's the book of Haggai, chapter 1 and verse 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to put it into a bag with holes. All right, so you're not going to be able to get ahead in this society. All right, these Edomites are waiting around every corner. The Lord got them set up, waiting around every corner to jack you Jakes up and to make sure that you can't deliver yourself out of this captivity. At the end of the day, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is the one that put us here, and Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is who's going to get us out of here. All right.
Historically, the same goes for most of your acclaimed athletes, your entertainers, and your performers, and then your style and fashion and slang and everything. Creativity has always come from the poor. The rich mine the resources of their talent the same way that they would mine copper or lithium or gold and then profit from it, enrich themselves, and claim it and act like it's part of their own greatness. You claim these talents and creativity as American, but the people themselves, whose talent and creativity it was, were all people from a people whom America abused and treated like nothing. They came from people who your society and your system treats as if they have nothing to contribute. Yet their
All right, like it says, you know, you like the Haggai said, you let me just go back to it so I don't butcher it. You have sown much and bring in little. See, Jake is responsible for all the innovations in this place. All right. And Jake is not, the Lord has it set up to where you niggas are not going to benefit off of that, because guess what? If Jake could lift theyself up by their bootstraps, as these Edomites will like to tell you all the time, if Jake could do that, then it would be no need for the Lord. All right, we need the Lord, man. The Lord is the one that's going to raise us up. All right, and that's why things are the way they are here, because Jake is quick to forget the Lord when things are going well. All right, and we all been there, man. For the vast majority of brothers that's in this truth, you grew up in the world, man, and that's what the world teach you. When you prosper and you forget about the Lord, as soon as something is going wrong, you want to pray and say you'll never do this or that again, and then once you back good, you back to doing the same shit. All right, but the Lord is not going to let us get out of that like this. Okay, it's only going to be Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai that gets us out of this captivity and gets us out of this situation that this dude was talking about.
contributions are the only things that gave you any kind of culture at all. They don't represent America. They overcame what America did to them. And even still, more often than not, they died penniless. This is a colonizer mindset. Record producers.
Like it says, you're earning wages to put into a bag with holes in it. All right. Before you even all you people or you Jakes that make these innovations and do all this stuff, before you even count any money, the government already is taking 40% off the top, man. Especially when you're in that higher bracket, where you're really generating a lot of funds. Before you even touch your money, the government is claiming 40% of whatever it is that you earn. And this is before you pay bills or anything, man. All right.
Agents, lawyers, publishers, what have you. These groups of talentless leeches who feel entitled to get rich off of the creative resources of others. They're exactly the same as colonizers who feel entitled to get rich off of the raw minerals and the natural resources in, say, Africa or Asia, the Middle East, Latin America, and so on. It's the same mindset. You yourself offer nothing. You contribute nothing. You create nothing. You just exploit and use and devour. It's parasitic.
And that's Esau's MO. That's how Esau gets down, all right?
It's the feudal system, just manifesting in various ways. And this runs throughout the whole so-called civilization. You can even see it manifesting on an individual basis. I mean, to one degree or another, individuals of a society or of a civilization are just fractals of that society, of that civilization, which is why you find so many Westerners who are mediocre, materialistic, greedy, entitled narcissists.
All right, we're gonna get a precept because you know scriptures talk about that. All right, he said that when you live in a society that the average citizen is just a fractal of the rulership or of the leadership. Okay, now this is Sirach 10:1. A wise judge will instruct his people, and the government of a prudent man is well ordered. As the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers. And what manner of man the ruler of the city is, such are all they that dwell therein. All right. So, as the man mentioned, okay, a fractal, you're a derivative of what these Edomites are. You are a copy of them. These Edomites they're at the top of society. The people that are below them, for the most part, look to them for guidance and look to them to for a way to how to make it or be on top. And what do? They copy him. They see what Esau's doing. Their mentality is, well, Esau is, the one that's in rulership, so it must work. So this is what we're gonna do. All right, and that's how, we are. That's why we are where we, Salakia. That's why we are where we are in this society right now, man. Debauchery at an all-time high. Mo activity, vile affection activity at an all-time high. All right, and just everything that's heinous at an all-time high, because those that are in charge and in rulership of the earth, they're freaks, man. The whole lot of them are freaks. All these people they set up, even these celebrities and these people, they're all freaks, man. And they set these people up so that all the low-level individuals and the common folk look up to them based off of their material gain. And then these people start to emulate the behavior of those that are set up in preferable positions, hoping to find themselves in a position that's similar. And all you're doing is destroying yourself and falling into the hands of these Edomites that want to exploit you, all right?
And they even approach interpersonal relationships with a colonizer, feudalistic, self supremacist mentality. Main character syndrome, they call it. This may be where your whole so called crisis of masculinity comes from, to be honest, because none of these attributes of your so called civilization are masculine traits. But that's another topic for another day. The point is, the same thing drives all of it. Drives colonization, drives racism, drives white supremacy, drives feudalism, drives neoliberal capitalism, drives neocon warmongering, drives union busting, drives exploitation of artists, on and on and on. It's the fundamental character flaw of the West. And they built their whole so called civilization on the foundation of that flaw. It's the misassignment of value, or in a word, materialism. The idea that having and controlling resources is, in and of itself, success and superiority, and by extension, having and controlling other people's resources is admirable and is to be justified by whatever rationale is most effective. You know,
All right, that's the mentality of Esau. All right, and the scriptures speak about that as well. See, the Lord covered everything, man. Lord willing, we can continue to follow in the things that He gave us so that we can make it out of this damn place, man. Because the Lord told us how it was going to be. This is John 10:10. The thief cometh not before to steal, to kill. Salakia. The thief cometh not but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life and that they might have it more abundantly. All right. So these Edomites, they got one thing on their mind. It don't matter how nice they are or how cool you think this particular Edomite is. First of all, if somebody is super cool and is really sincerely somebody who you trust and believe is cool and is sincere, 9 times out of 10, that's a speckled bird Jake that just looks like an Edomite. All right, because these people that are real Edomites are wicked as all fuck, man. All right, and they only coming to steal, kill, and destroy. They're not coming to be your friend, no matter how much they humble themselves. And like Sirach says, never trust thine enemy. No matter how low they crouch, they're trying to undermine you at all points.
I said narcissism for a reason, because this is different from egomania. Someone can have a big ego but not be a narcissist. A narcissist knows deep down that they're not special, and their self obsession and their vanity is just a camouflage for actually feeling a low self worth. They're mostly mediocrities.
Hey man, the scriptures say, that the Lord, views the Israelites as a holy people, a separate people, a people that are above all other nations. All right. And see, Esau is the basis of men. Esau is at the opposite of that spectrum. Esau is at the bottom when it comes to the way that the Lord ranks the nations. Okay. And so these Edomites, they're upset that the Lord ain't dealing with them and that they don't have the Lord's blessing, to be the Lord's people. And so they conduct themselves in the way that they conduct themselves. All right. As this man is speaking about.
What's a mediocrity? It's a person who's lacking the natural resource of creativity and talent. So you could say that they are resource narcissists because they are naturally resource poor. They want to be resource rich, meaning that they want the resources of those who actually have them. Again, whether this means
See, they wish that these Edomites wish that the Lord chose them. They wished that the Lord was dealing with them. All right. That's why when they took over and found rulership in this earth, the main thing that they sought out to do was to take our culture away from it, or Slaki, to take our culture away from us and adopt it as their own. Now these Edomites got the whole world thinking that they the people of the Lord. Now it's starting to wear off and people are starting to understand that they're not. But, for a very long period of time, for centuries, these Edomites really had the whole world believing that Yahweh Shai was an Edomite, that Yahweh was an Edomite, that all the prophets was Edomites. They really had everybody fooled, like it says in the Maccabees. I believe it's in First Maccabees. I might be wrong, Salakia if I'm wrong, but they laid open the book of the law and sought to paint their image, roughly paraphrasing. So these Edomites, they got control of the scriptures and control of society, and they start telling people that they was us because they want the Lord's blessing, but it's not happening. All right, you got your opportunity to rule, and that's all you're gonna get.
minerals, labor, talent, ideas, what have you. They want what they don't naturally have, and they want to be perceived as having that more than anyone else. So again, because in reality they want what they don't deserve, they have to project upon the resource rich that they are undeserving. So stealing from them is justified because it just means that you're righting the cosmic wrong of them ever having had the resources in the first place, because obviously everything should just belong to me. We're essentially oppressed.
All right, he's talking about he said a cosmic wrong. It's like I'm gonna grab this mic and then we're gonna address that. This is Micah chapter 2 and verse 1. Woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. And they covet fields and take them by violence, and houses and take them away. So they oppress a man and his house, even a man and his heritage. And like the guy said, these Edomites, they wish that they had, well, he's saying talent and this and that, but really all those things are of the Lord. And the Lord blessed his chosen people with that. That's why you don't see a heathen Beyonce, a heathen Michael Jordan or anything like that. And any individual that's a figure of that nature that you believe is a heathen is actually just a speckled bird Jake, all right? But these Edomites, they wish that they was us. So they try to take everything of ours and put it on them, and they think that that's going to change who they really are, but it ain't going to work. The Lord not dealing with them, and the Lord is going to come back to destroy their society, and the elect are going to put these Edomites in captivity. Lord willing, would be at that number. All right, and after your captivity is served, you Edomites are going to get destroyed, and the rest of you heathens are going to serve captivity with Esau as well. But after your sentence is served, you heathens will be given your allotted lands, and you'll be able to go back to those lands and live in the world, being governed by Israelites in righteousness. All right. Now we're gonna go to that Genesis. All right. Because he had mentioned a cosmic wrong. And this is what Esau is really upset about, but it's not a cosmic wrong. The Lord set everything up the way that it was supposed to go. All right, but these you let these Edomites tell you, and you know they'll say that, oh yeah, well the blessing was really for Esau and Jacob stole it from him, and when you really understand and have understanding and know who Esau is, in the spirit, and through the reincarnation, you would understand that the blessing was always Jacob's, okay? But that's another lesson for another day. This is Genesis 27 and 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then I will slay my brother Jacob. All right, so, you know, of course, as inheritance goes, the traditional way that inheritance is divided is the first child that's born, that's a male child, receives the inheritance. All right, in the ancient world, now they just do it to the first child because they include the woman in all of this now. But in the ancient world, they only pass the inheritance to the men. All right, and the inheritance that Isaac passed down, was the kingdom, you know, for lack of a better word. All right, and to just to keep it simple, the blessing of the kingdom, the blessing of being the Lord's chosen. That's what Isaac passed down to Jacob. All right. And these Edomites, they'll say that Jacob, he supplanted, which he did supplant, but it was set up in the spirit. It was set up for him to do that. All right. The Lord chose him. Just because that's how, he was chosen doesn't mean that he wasn't chosen. All right. And or just because that's how the blessing was captured doesn't mean that he wasn't chosen. Salakia. All right. The Lord's in control of everything. Things go the way that he sees fit. But Jacob was always chosen. But see, these Edomites, they don't want to let it go. They don't want to get over it. All right. And, if you read, I think I don't know if it's earlier up in this chapter or it might be, in one of the chapters prior to this. But, Jacob was cooking a pottage, a stew, and Esau was being impatient. And Esau relinquished his birthright to Jacob for an early portion of the stew, and then tried to turn around and renege. All right, but like I said, I'm not gonna get into too much detail. That'll just be another lesson, Salakia. But nonetheless, these Edomites are butthurt, and they continue to want to cry about a birthright that's not theirs. All right, and so they feel wronged. They feel like the Lord wronged them, so they take that out on us.
Because our oppressors,
And we deserve it because the Lord set it up like that because we went off. That's the only reason we dealing with this Edomite is because we went off, and really because of the way that things are supposed to go. Like the Elder Yak says, we're in this world on this side prior to the kingdom being established to go through God school, to go through king school, to go through judge school, to learn how to be a righteous judge and righteous ruler. All right. That's what we're going through this side for. That's what we are we're actively acquiring the knowledge of good and evil. All right. You can't just be all good. You have to know everything. You have to know up and down, you have to know it all if you're going to be a real ruler and a righteous ruler. And that's why we're going through what we have to go through here.
are mediocrities, and they can only feel special by subjugating those who are special. Wallahi, the story of the West and the global South is basically the story of Cain and Abel writ large.
All right. That's what he said. All right. And as we know, Esau is Cain in the reincarnation. But like I said, that's something that, you know, can be talked about and taken care of in its own video because it's a lot of details that come with that. All right. We're going to get this last precept and then we're going to close out, Lord will. It's Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1, because, we're going through what we're going through now, but at the end of the day, the Lord is coming back, man. And even prior to the Lord coming back, he's already put a spirit in certain men. All right. Those of us that are doing this work, that are out here on the highways and byways, standing boldly and casting down this society and casting down these heathens. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 5 and verse 1. Then shall the righteous man stand in great boldness before the face of such as have afflicted him and made no account of his labors. When they see it, they shall be troubled with terrible fear and shall be amazed at the strangeness of his salvation, so far beyond all that they look for. All right. So these Edomites are trying to do everything they can to keep us down and to prevent the Lord from coming back and destroying this place. But none of that's going to work. All right. We standing up boldly now on this side, fighting for our own crown and fighting for Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bashem, Yahweh Shai, first and foremost, and for our own crown, secondly. All right. And this place is almost done. All right. So we need to just continue to stay prayed up, continue to stand boldly. Lord willing, we all endure to the end, from the elder apostles on down. Okay. But with that being said, we're going to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bashem, Yahweh Shai, Bashem, Kakwadash, double honors to the apostles, the elders, and the men of great millstone. Shalom to the Akim, and if you Akwat who may be listening. Lord willing, this was an edifying lesson. Kwam Yasharala and a Bible ball.